Hi Swami, how are you?
Good, thanks, Joe.
It's good to catch up again.
Yeah.
We've done a Astral podcast which has recently dropped, and I think it's probably worth doing a part two, just to kind of touch on some other questions I may not have asked the first time around. So if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind starting off with the meaning of astral on Google. If I can explain that to you, what it reads, and then if you can explain to all of us what it actually is. So it says, relating to a supposed non-physical realm of existence to which various psychic and paranormal phenomena are ascribed, and in which the physical human body is said to have a counterpart, spiritual beings from the astral plane. Can you please explain that to us, how all that works, Swami?
It's interesting that that's on Google. That supposedly it's saying, well, it is a belief. It's a belief in most religions in the world. But as a yogi, we believe that that is where we go when we die. And it is where we come from when we're born. So, and it is a subtle realm, which is very, it's sort of connected to the physical realm. It identifies itself, or the physical realm identifies itself with the astral realm.
Okay, so you explained that to us better than reading it from Google. See, that's a lot clearer to me than the way they've written it. So people probably need to dig a bit deeper in that area to understand it completely. So, looking at a few of the questions I've got for us, Swami, can we get into a dream state, and what is the astral journey consist of?
So I think what you here you've got the astral and dream state. You're talking about an astral journey or an astral experience and a dream.
Okay.
They're totally
They're
different.
different.
They're totally different.
Okay, can you just give us a quick one on both?
A dream, when you have a dream, it'll be all a bit jumbly and messed up dreams. It's just your brain throwing away a lot of junk, like you've read something, you've spoken to people, you've been out, you've got lots of ideas, and remember there's enormous amounts of traffic there that you're receiving the whole day. You can't hold it. It's not possible because it's not necessary. So what the brain does, or the mind does, it works it all out and throws bits and pieces. Well, our brain's seeing that dream thinking, oh, what's all this about? But if you learn to look at that dream and say, oh, that bit must have been the result of a television I saw. That piece is because I was looking at the news. That piece is because Mary Brown told me something, and you can work the dream out. But an astral experience is different. An astral experience, how can I say it? The astral is like Technicolor, but it's lit up. And if you look at this, if you're thinking you're in the astral, is to find the sun. There is no sun.
Okay.
So the astral is illuminated by cosmic consciousness itself. It doesn't have a sun.
So when you mentioned just a couple of minutes ago about colours, what comes up? What colours mean what? Or is it just...
No, it's just the grass is really green.
Yep.
People...
Okay. So it's not a
nice
highlighted yellow that means X or a...
No, the nice people are nice and the not nice people are not nice.
Yep. So that's answered to what we see. What do we experience? What is the feel? Because I think sometimes, how do you know you've got to where you need to be when you're in the astral? So what do you experience?
You don't know if you're where you're meant to be, if that's just an experience like that.
So the astral takes you on that journey no matter what.
What happens is the soul yearns to go home. That's what it is. And so when you switch off to this physical world, when you go to sleep, the soul will yearn to go to that place that it knows is where it comes from.
So
Is that explained?
it does.
Yeah, so it will go, maybe their father is there and they will go, or their grandfather, they might go and talk to him because they'll still have it related now to the physical body that they've got.
Yeah. So how do you know it's a dream versus being in the astral? Like, as in, sometimes I think people always think they're in the astral and they're just having a dream about their grandfather.
You have to think about it.
Okay.
Really.
And would that come back through, as we've talked about in previous podcasts, does that come back through meditation and breathing?
And you have to be realistic.
Yeah, yep, that makes sense. So during sleep or meditation, the idea of a conscious experience where one's awareness separates from the physical body and explores a non-physical realm, how real is this?
Yeah, well, when you go to sleep, it does happen.
And how come everyone can't experience that state?
You don't need to. Maybe they're not evolved enough to understand.
Yep, that's actually makes sense. So, and maybe I've asked this question before, how does astral travel work?
Aha. A lot of people talk about astral travel. I think it's in a lot of, been in movies and things like that. If you're going to experiment with astral travelling and try to leave your body, you could be in a lot of trouble. Okay. A lot of people who do that cannot get back.
What does your lineage believe in astral, going way back? What is there anything in your lineage that tells you this is the way we...
Yeah, that's how I teach. That's what I teach.
Yep.
I teach the way our lineage thinks, so to speak, yeah.
So I've read, being Dr. Google, I've actually read stuff that one of the things I'm going to ask is the colour of the astral body. So the question is, what colour is the astral body? I have read the colours are red for physical, blue for spiritual, yellow for mental, white and black are the two poles of spirituality. Firstly, is that true?
Well, I'm sure Dr. Google knows what he's talking about, but...
So I don't think he might not.
I've never heard that before. I don't Google, so
No.
I haven't heard that before.
Yep.
The physical body is what you can see.
Yes.
That's what you've got. The astral body is how you perceive yourself to be. It will be exactly like this. And so what happens, the body itself has lots of sheaths. You know, this is a sheath. Then we have a sheath for breathing, you know, because the pranic energy that we need in a physical life is the breath to keep us alive.
Yes.
We don't need the body in the astral. We don't need the pranayama or the breath in the astral because you don't breathe.
Okay.
When you're asleep, even,
Yeah.
you don't know if you're breathing or not.
That's true.
You
assume you are. You
don't know what your little toe's doing while you're asleep, do
No.
you? So let's think about it. It's an altered state of consciousness. So you don't need this. You don't need to eat, smoke, drink, cup of tea. No. So what you have still is more of these sheaths. Now, what you do in the astral is you're so used, when you die, you're so used to seeing and feeling your body, you will project a body. It'll be a thought, let's say a conscious thought projection, and it'll be you. It'll be a little bit, I've seen them, so it'll be a little bit more shinier. You know, if you died of cancer, you won't look as bad, sort of thing. And,
yes.
You know, and you receive limbs back that you might have lost. You can throw away the walking stick because you don't need it, because you'll be okay.
Yeah.
That's what I see as the physical, as the astral body. And you know, in the nether regions, the physical bodies are gross and dark, and the higher you go, the astral body, sorry, but the higher you go, the more bright they are until they are just light. Now you have to remember that the soul itself is only a few grams in weight. They have weighed the soul. And the soul is like it looks like a bit of a thumb, really. It just looks like that.
Oh.
If you can see it. And it just pulsates. It doesn't have eyes, nose, mouth, sort of. It doesn't need it. It just pulsates. So it's got to have something, doesn't it? If it goes in the higher realms, it can just be itself and be, you know, vibrating, bright, I could say pulsating colour. It's just fabulous. But a lot of these colours, I think that has been taken from chakras. Those colours look to me.
Okay. So we can look at that down the track, you know, and dig a bit deeper into chakras maybe down the track. Can you travel astrally to a place where you do not want to go?
Not really. Why would you?
That's the question, because sometimes you might not be in control of something, and if you're
curious and somehow you've been playing around in meditation and trying to leave your body and all the rest of it, you might end up in the nether regions. Okay. That's the problem, and you may not get back.
So would it be important for people to keep practicing their practices through meditation or sleep to get to where they want to go?
Yes. Knowledge is powerful. So you have to have the knowledge to be able to do it.
So how do people seek the knowledge if they're just starting out and they
you
realise...
You have to find someone who does, and you have to query and question. And, you know, if you're looking for a guru, even these days, you know, you have to question, you have to think, is this right? Is this what I want? Do I feel well with here? Or would I be better off finding a religious person to talk to, you know?
So that makes sense. I like how you say question and if it feels right, because some people are sheep and they just follow whatever they get hooked up into, and you don't know where that leads.
No, you need to question.
That's good. I like that. Does the soul during the astral journey take you to where it needs to go?
The soul will go where it wants to go.
So that is in control. Like it goes where it does need to go.
It's more intelligent than you or me.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew it would be more intelligent than me, Swami. So, if in a snapshot of the astral world or the astral state or the dream state, how would you sum it all up? So if people were asking you the question, Swami, what's the astral to you?
Well, the astral to me is home, where I go home, where I feel comfortable, where people I know are there. So to me, that's what that is. And you know, when I'm certainly not afraid of dying and going there. It's the leading up to the dying that's not the best, but the dying is fine.
Yeah.
My teacher always said, every night when you go to sleep, you die. You know, when you close your eyes, you die to the physical.
Can you explain that a bit further?
Yeah, because when you go to sleep, you close your eyes, you go to sleep. You can't remember where you've been or who you are.
True. What for people, if they struggle with sleep, just say they, I won't say insomniacs or whatever, but what if they're really struggling? It takes them a few hours to get to sleep. How do they shut that down?
A lot of people who struggle with sleep, it's because they're watching the TV, they're reading a book or something.
Yeah.
You know, the bedroom should be the bedroom to go to sleep in.
Yeah.
That's my point of view. And, you know, it should be as soon as I go in there, okay, I'm relaxed, close my eyes, I'll sleep.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You can't take the computer to bed with you. You can't take the phone to bed with you. No, you have to. You owe it to yourself to have a good sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, they always say, even in normal medicine, like Western medicine, etc., they always say having a good night's sleep is important. So, and same as diet and exercise and the rest of it. But they're touching on the meditation a little bit more now, and the yoga a bit more now. It's not just take these pills and we'll see you in a month's time. So, and I'm trying to think about how I can ask the question correctly. If the astral is where people are going to go, can they prepare for that in their later years? So if people are going to pass...
Everyone tries to prepare in their later years. They race out and buy a Bible and all sorts of things as they reach 70. But I think you just have to realise to have a good life. Emily has put up, excuse me for the drawing, but of all the astral, of the chakras. And if you have a look, I've told you that the chakras that are most important is the one from the solar plexus to the pelvic region. And this is for relationships, reason, forgiveness, all these sort of things. But if you also, and that will keep you in this nice astral part that you can go to and when you die and be born from. But have to think about it. The nether regions are pretty close to that. And if you have a look at these chakras that she has already put on, I think you can do screenshots or something.
Yep.
And you'll see the Vitala Atala. That's here. Just the chakras here and the chakras here. Therefore, all the what we call the sins, the deadly sins, like raging anger and jealousy, there's envy, lying, all these, that's deceit, all these sort of things. Remember, you can't afford them.
Yeah.
If you're on this journey, you can't afford it. You can't afford to be jealous. You can't afford to be envious because someone has got something bigger and better than you. Or, you know, they got better tattoos than you these days, isn't it? You can't afford to be jealous of them because it will take you down, and that's what you don't want. If you're following this yogic path, so to speak, you want to keep moving forward and upward in your practices, and so that each life you lead, each life you have, each reincarnation, it's better and it's moving forward, and the karma is easier. That's what you're looking for.
So how does a person break through the negativity that runs through their mind? Oh, he has got a better car, or she has got a better job, or...
Yeah, well, just stop it.
So can you train the brain to do that, or is it something that's a learned type of...
As soon as it starts, no, I don't want it. Because if you have a thought, oh, I like Jim's car better than mine, I wish I had that car, I don't know why I don't have that car, it's probably because the wife's spending all my money and I can't get that car. You know, this is running through, say, this mind. This thought is so strong, it's come out and it's caught in the auric field.
Yep.
Now,
yep.
I sort of will say there's about 52 sheaths of this going out. So it goes out, and you think, yeah, I'm not going to be like that anymore. I'm not going to be like that. And it comes back and hits you and you go, oh, I really want that car. Now he's got another new one. You know what I mean?
I do.
So what you have to do, you have to say, no. I have Irish heritage, so I have the best Irish temper that you can believe. I once had picked up a fellow 3 times my size and threw him. So you can imagine my temper is very strong. I'm Durga, so naturally. I had to one day think, really? Why are you doing this? What is the reason? And, injustice upsets me. So I've had to really work on that so that I do not lose my temper ever again, so to speak. Yes.
So getting back to when you're saying if you have the thought, the first thing we've got to try and do is change that thought.
Oh, and look, take a deep breath.
Okay. So have a bad thought, take a deep breath, change the thought to something positive.
And
instead of half glass empty, half glass full.
And walk away.
Okay. That's good. That's a good practice for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there are things that trigger us, whatever they may be. It might be that jealousy, that envy. It might be, as you say, in your case, injustice. You don't want to see that. That upsets you. So when you do see something like that, how do you cope with that? Do you try and change that thought, or?
Well, I changed the thought because if it doesn't have anything to do with me, it's easy. But if it has something to do with me...
Because there's the emotional part there, isn't there?
Yes, that is. Then, I think, oh, well, I know who I am and where I am.
Yep. So does that mean you come back to yourself?
Yeah, I don't need this. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. One final question, Swami. Is there anything I've forgotten to ask or should have asked that you could explain to us or mention to us?
I don't think so. Just the astral is a real state. It's a different vibration, so it is a real state. And just, it would be, look, life is pretty short. People like me, it's getting short. But if you just spend at least 10 minutes twice a day coming home to yourself, that's so important. People tell me I don't have time, Swami. Yes, you do. I knew a woman who had 12 kids, and she said, honestly, the only time I'm alone is when I'm on the toilet. She said, and that's when I meditate. I lock myself in the toilet and I meditate for 10 minutes. She said, and no one's allowed to come in.
That makes sense because she's in the toilet.
She's got so many kids.
The second she walks out, she's got a line of kids asking, Mum, Mum, Mum.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's really important. It's important that 10 minutes twice a day to be quiet. Just to let go. It doesn't matter. Turn the phone off, the television off, the radio off. You don't need these things. Just come home to yourself.
Would you say there's good times to do that? Like it'd be first thing in the morning, or whenever it works for that person?
It's time that works for you.
That's good to hear,
that's
actually.
That's really important.
Yeah, that's good to hear because we do get busy, but as we say, there's 168 hours in a week, 24 hours in a day. If you can't find 10 twice a day, then what are you doing with the other 23 hours and 40 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
So just find that time.
Yes.
And that helps you become closer to yourself as well as starting to process things in life that may help with...
And it lessens the stress. You will sleep better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Excellent, Swami. On that note, we'll leave that. Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for joining us in another episode of the Teachings of Samata. For further information regarding these teachings with Swami Durgananda and the products, please check out the website below. To follow along with this journey, please subscribe for more. And thank you. We hope to see you again soon.